Aspire to chase after their dreams.
Don't date 50 Cent and don't date no damn rappers. Years to be able to laugh about it. Right. I had to learn to laugh, not to cry no more. But I did it. Yes.
That's Vivica Fox. Apparently, she was speaking on the panel at some women's empowerment event. You know, where all the old feminists, I'm a boss, but my life is in shambles crowd shows up. The independent don't need no man for nothing, but please somebody help me at the same time. While I light candles all day and manifest, but never actually do the work, women go to feel empowered for 2 hours before returning to the same chaotic nonsense in their normal life, when they're really just being used for a ticket sale, registration, or to be somebody else's company. Besides their money, they're using their energy. But this event right here represented all the feminists, didn't matter the color. Vivica Fox represented the black feminists, but they had every other color too. White, black, Hispanic, Asian. They all united for the weekend. Edison, New Jersey to be exact. And I have to say, I like Edison. Great American city. But you go there now, just like a lot of other places in this country, and you're like, what happened to all the Americans? Bunch of Indians and Asians came through. They took over Edison over the years. But hey, the feminists swooped in for their weekend meetup, which gave Vivica Fox the perfect chance to grab some attention and get her name ringing again by bringing up 50 Cent. The clip hit social media, and suddenly everybody was in the comments on the blogs, handing out sympathy like she didn't volunteer that story for the millionth time. Here's a commenter right here. She says she probably really loved him, and he played in her face. Or this one right here, she loved him real bad. She's still talking about him after all these years. Then another responded to her. She said that he was the love of her life. Vivica was already 40 years old when she met 50. He was still in his 20s. And how could you possibly have all this love after only dating somebody for 3 months? Yeah, how did she just love him so much? Like, what are we talking about here? And we have to stop with this foolishness. She had been around the block already like 11 times. Like, stop playing. Then this one right here saying the same thing. She still heard about 50. She was deeply in love with him. She still hasn't let it go. And I'm telling you, the internet is so gullible. I mean, they really try to make it seem like she's some long-suffering wife after a 3-month fling a quarter of a century ago. This is what they do. They will rewrite history if you didn't have anybody left around that remembered the truth. Look at him. Then this one right here said he finna talk about her for 50 days and 50 nights. And sure, that's another joke. He gonna talk about her for 50 days and 50 nights, yet she's the one that's really talking about him for 22 years? Most people yapping about this had no sense whatsoever, but here's one with some common sense. She said it took years to laugh again from a 2-month relationship. Something wrong with her. And I have to agree with that. Something is definitely wrong here. But no, there's no way somebody was deeply in love with somebody they barely knew. That little relationship went on for like 3 months. It's been 22 years, and she's still talking about it. And the thing is, she's repeating this crap to an audience that's way younger than her. So they don't know she's only talking about a 3-month relationship. The way Vivica is constantly repeating her wannabe color purple lines, acting out the movie, as if she's some long-suffering wife with a man for years who just did her dirty. No. Vivica Fox is a perfect example of not getting played, but playing yourself. When she was in a relationship with 50, she thought she was on top of the world because she had already been in Hollywood for years. Yeah, she had already been in a blockbuster with Will Smith. So in her eyes, she was up there and he was beneath her because when they started dating, he was just on his freshman project. And sure, he was definitely making a lot of noise in 2003. That first album, Get Rich or Die Trying, is now a classic. But in her mind, she still thought he was beneath her. On top of that, she was like 11, 12 years older than him, and older women like to treat younger men like their sons. The respect just wasn't there, which is ultimately why 50 was no longer interested in her, because although Vivica was and still is a great actress, she still didn't know how to play the role of the woman he needed. That power struggle was going on. And luckily for 50, although he was much younger than her, he spotted that early on and stayed in his masculine frame while she would go on through the next couple of decades trying to convince herself how powerful she was as a strong, independent boss chick. And now she's literally a senior citizen. No joke or exaggeration, but she's now in her 60s, pushing 62 years old, and she realized she fumbled big time with 50. I don't care what feminist blogger or simp columnist try to make it seem like she was the one who got away. It's very obvious that it's 50 who got away from Vivica, and she's been out of shape because at the time she was with him, she didn't see the longevity in him. She didn't know the long-term success he would have. She wasn't willing to submit to him and get on board with the plan. And now at 62 years old, she's still working, trying to figure out a hustle to keep up with her lifestyle. Then faced with a harsh reality that Hollywood is dead and a lot of her faves are broke. Same thing for the music industry. I mean, years ago, the same women that pumped a lot of mess in the minds of younger women, you now see them washed up, their has-beens, entertaining regular men. It's a fascinating experiment we've witnessed here. Vivica Fox, at 62 years old, is still running around talking about a 3-month relationship almost a quarter of a century ago. Because bottom line, Vivica is not happy with how her love life turned out. Plain and simple.
Vivica Fox was on a panel or something of that sort when somebody asked a question about chasing dreams. Now the clip kind of cut it short, so I'm not sure if they were asking about like distractions and what would keep somebody from chasing their dreams. I don't know what it was. All I know is that Vivica Fox said out her mouth, don't date 50 Cent and don't date no other rappers. Ladies and gentlemen, this is proof that us aunties don't need to be going out here trying to date these young whippersnappers. Because it's nowhere in the world, Vivica Fox, that you have been talking about this man for over 20 years. And I guess it got to be the majesty, because it damn sure ain't his personality, because that leaves a lot to be desired. But apparently it's something about him when it comes to her, because she even admitted that it took her years to begin to laugh about the situation or the breakup rather than cry. I can't lie, when I initially heard what Vivica Fox said out her mouth, I said, oh my God, 50 Cent is about to troll the hell out of her and hurt her feelings all over again. But surprisingly, he was actually nice. And he said, you know I love me some you, girl. And he said, I cannot believe it has been over 20 something years, Vivica. 50? Do you want that old thing back? Let us know.
Nah, that's called sarcasm. He was done 22 years ago. And his response was really to point that out to everybody that she's still talking about him when they broke up 22 years ago. He's definitely not trying to get back with her, but responding in any other way would have been kicking a dead horse. People will start calling foul elder abuse. This lady is literally about to start collecting her Social Security. It just won't go over well, even though she's the one who brought his name up to drag him. She tried, but it didn't have the impact she thought it would, and ultimately it just made her look sad and pathetic. So no, I prefer to see that response from 50 as opposed to him going as low as we know he could have gone, because we all know 50 could easily do the limbo on Vivica's head.
I don't know what type of voodoo, because it has to be a spell or a soul tie that 50 Cent put on Vivica Fox. But for her, 20 plus years later, to still be bringing him up is crazy. May that kind of love never find me.
And listen, ladies, y'all keep calling this love, but there's no love after just dating somebody for 3 months. I'm sorry. This right here is regret. And the regret ain't got nothing to do with love. It's all about what she missed out on. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less.
And the question in the interview wasn't even related to dating or men at all. It was like, what's some advice for somebody chasing their dreams or something? She said, don't date 50 Cent. Huh? And she was serious. Like, it wasn't even a joke. Like, my girl has not been over him. 20 years, she's still talking about him. 20 years.
22 years.
And my thing is, all that's doing is gassing 50 Cent up more and making his head bigger than it already is, because he already thinks he's God's greatest gift. And here she go.
And let me just say this. I really feel like Vivica A. Fox is the prime example of having a good man and fumbling him and not being able to find another man like him again. See, I see so many women feeling like they the prize, feeling like they the pick, and feeling like it don't matter if a man stops talking to you today or tomorrow because he's not going to find nobody like you. But nobody talks about, no woman talks about when they actually fumble a good man. When a man really wants to be a provider and actually put you in position that you don't have to do anything but walk around the house to be a princess. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like the reason she brings that up years later is because she really realized that she actually fumbled a good man. She fumbled a provider. You get what I'm saying? Like, you know how hard it is to realize you ain't never gonna come across that type of man again, and he won't mess with you or, you know, double back on you. Like, baby, once he done with you, he's done. Like, I think that really bothers her because she's still working, she's still acting, you know, this, that, to the third, when she could have been set. She could have been put up. She could have been with the boss. You get what I'm saying? So I just feel like, girl, you might have to, like, take that elbow peacefully. But I wish more women would actually say, you know what, I did fumble a good guy. I remember I fumbled this guy one time too. Yeah, I had threw up on his Jordans or whatever, just young, always drinking.
Every once in a while, Vivica A. Fox just feels the need to bring up 50 Cent to be relevant again. She was on a panel and they asked her what would she say to somebody who was chasing their dreams. She said, don't date 50 Cent and don't date rappers. And 50 Cent has not brought this lady up in a long time. And I feel like when you call for 50 Cent, you calling for trouble. Like, what was the point of this? It's like she love that man real bad, deep down inside. You know when you just don't want to let somebody go, so every once in a while you just do little things to poke at them. Everybody knows when you poke at 50 Cent, he gonna bite back. He not even gonna poke, he gonna bite back. This man, just leave him alone. I think she like 70. Leave him in the past, girl. Like, damn, I hate that for her, and I hate her fall off too. That lady used to be bad, and she used to be on all the good movies. Now she's stuck on Lifetime, and I heard she ran off on a plug. Somebody had sued her a couple months ago because apparently she ran off on $25,000, never showed back up to the movie set. She got better things to worry about than 50.
It tells me that we are not doing the healing work when we go through heartbreaks. Her situation, right, tells me that she didn't do the healing work. She didn't get a real therapist or real friends or real somebody that's going to tell her what I'm saying right now. So when I'm speaking up to the younger people, right, and I'm saying these are the mistakes that's being made and this is how you can correct it. Because just because you get older does not mean you are getting wiser. Let me say it again. Just because you're getting older doesn't mean you're getting wiser. So now, this is what I mean by when somebody doesn't have the results that you are looking for, they're not in a healthy, loving marriage and has been married for enough time to be able to tell you some of the things to look for, the only advice they can give you is what not to do. Here's what Vivica A. Fox should have said to the crowd of women that were listening. This is what she should have said. She should have said, with a genuine heart, this is what happens when you do healing work and you want to give people advice and you don't have the results that they're asking you for. This is what you say. You say, you know what? That's a good question, right? This is what I would have done differently, right? I had a really great relationship with a guy one time, right? And, because, we're public people. We went public too fast. What we should have done was kept it more of a secret and built our relationship foundation, make it more solid before we announce it to anybody. So if you're in a relationship, right, don't just go announcing it to people. Keep it calm between you. Keep it quiet between you two first. Establish something really good before you share with anyone else, okay? And so make sure when you're dating, you make sure that, you date the right man and make sure you give the man a chance no matter what he does. That would have been an older woman giving good advice to younger women from a place of that's genuine, filled with wisdom from what she learned, right? But not bitterness, resentment, anger, unhealed, disguised as wisdom.
That's the thing. Bitterness, resentment, and anger don't magically turn into wisdom. And no, getting older doesn't automatically make you smarter or wiser. A lot of y'all out here taking advice from people who are bitter, broken, failed at everything in life you want to have. You're listening to women who follow that I don't need a man programming, straight into loneliness, who skipped over the men who actually wanted them, misread their own leverage, and then want to turn their regrets into your blueprint. Nah, they can't help you do nothing but follow their same mistakes. This is why you see mothers passing down the same life to their daughters. If you listen to them and follow that same path that ultimately led to their failure, then you're going to end up just like them. I don't care if it's Vivica Fox, your auntie, your mama, your grandmama, same story. They can't teach you what they don't know or what they failed to do themselves. But hey, I digress. Vivica, this whole storyline is tied in through. It's time to cut. End of scene is over. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. Tell me what you think about this below. Shout out to our brother Dark Power. I appreciate you for your support for the channel, as well as our sisters Donna and Starlet. You can show your support as well. The link to PayPal is below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to like and share.